these guys? Did
I
they forget?
know.
Oh, we're live. Welcome to the WMMA Today show. That's Drake over there. I'm Steve. We're live. We will be talking about some Bellator recaps, a KSW 55 recap, the UFC Fight Island 5 recap, which I'm highly excited for. Some news, a Twitter question, and then we go to the previews for this week's matchups. One of them taking place tomorrow night, a Thursday night. Massive
Big one.
championship fight, Bellator 249, and then UFC Fight Island 6 preview with 2 fights on it. So we will start off with welcoming everybody to the Tracy Cortez show. She's amazing, right? I mean, badass.
We'll get there.
Okay, so we're going to start with Bellator Paris, the recap, where Lucy Bertaud beat Maggie Burchell. Magway?
Yeah, Maggie.
Maggie. Magway.
Magway. Is that what it's spelled?
Magway Burchell. Where it went to a unanimous decision in favor of Lucy Bertaud. It was a fun fight. Kicked off the card.
Yeah, I don't think it was the first fight. I didn't watch this one live, but
Literally
did
the
watch
first
it.
fight I saw when I turned it on.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. This fight, flyweight fight, got some prospects here. I mean, Berto more than Burchell, and this was actually she beat the more experienced fighter. Lucy
Yeah,
was
she
2-2 going into this. Maggie 10-4, 10-4-1, I believe. I think she had a draw, but either way, 14, 15 fights. And Lucy really went out there and had her way for the most part, as the scores reflect here. Kind of weird, actually, when you look at it with 236s and 129-28. I'm assuming that one judge gave Maggie the first round, but even then, the story of this fight was Lucy really controlling her either up against the cage or on the ground, and on the ground specifically for those last 2 rounds more so than the first. The first was the most competitive, but
she dominated on the ground.
yeah, did very well there. And the beginning of the third round started off, a little bit more striking heavy, but then eventually she took it down to the ground, and that was just where she was most comfortable and obviously excelled at.
Yeah.
So, a solid win, of course. Especially, I think it makes the win better considering the experience levels of both of them in MMA. A very good win for her to take out someone with that much more experience than her. So, obviously, a fine addition to this loaded Bellator flyweight roster. Would like to see her against nobody crazy yet, but, good to see her against some more prospects going forward. That was, like I said, a good win because of the experience that Maggie had in comparison. So, not the most exciting fight ever, but a good solid win for her.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, there was action on the ground, a lot of action on the ground in favor of Lucy. Magway, she just didn't show that she had so many fights under her belt. Like she didn't look like she had a good record.
It looked like the records were reversed, right?
Yeah. It honestly it did. Crazy. I mean, but again, these are European fighters. Who knows who they've been fighting? I don't know. I don't know who they've been fighting. Probably no one spectacular. I mean, but 10 wins in MMA is a lot, no matter what.
Yep, yeah, no doubt about it. And Lucy officially becomes the first female fighter to win in France, right? So,
yep,
history
yeah,
history there.
Good history.
But yeah.
She
So
was
that was
excited
the
too. She was pumped up.
yeah, and rightfully so. I think she's also I think she's French. I know that one of them was. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Maybe both of them were, but
I
Berteau,
think it was Lucy. I mean, it could have been Magway too.
yeah. Lucy Berteau sounds like a more French name. I don't know. I don't know. Europeans. So that was that one. Speaking of Europeans, we did have another European card and quite a solid one. So
Yeah, KSW, number 55. What a great show that was. I
oh my
mean,
god, dude.
like honestly, like it,
What a cool fucking venue too, right? That
it was
place was
dope. It was
awesome.
dope. Yeah, it was dope. They do the theatrics right. KSW is amazing. I mean, if you're like a true MMA fan and like you want to go to different MMA events and stuff, and you want to travel, KSW is one of those promotions that I personally, and I know you do as well, we've talked about it, want to go cover a fight card for KSW. Or shit, I wouldn't even mind being in the stands and fucking drinking beer and nonsense with all those crazy maniacs. I mean, that's my style anyway. I would much rather be in the stands with a bunch of fucking crazies around me.
Be a good time either way.
Oh, for sure, 100%. I'm so down. So anyway, KSW 55. It was amazing. There was a strawweight fight here. Carolina Watchsick defeated Sylvia Juskowicz.
Nice, pretty good, I think. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's always fun with the names in there.
good with Polish, not English,
Yeah.
and not
So yeah,
French.
this fight,
If it was Spanish, then I'd be fucking phenomenal. But
then just breeze through it.
yeah, oh yeah,
But yeah, this was a solid fight. This was, I think it was a better fight than the Bellator one. And I mean,
it was
strawweight
a good.
action here. Um, Carolina, man, I think that there's some real potential with her. I think that elevated her record to 8-2, 7-2, I believe. And one of those losses she has was to Cheyenne Bays,
Fight.
however
Yeah,
you want to say it. And it was by split decision, and that was like her third fight or something. So a while ago now, but
yeah,
man, in this fight, she was really sharp on the feet, and I was most impressed by her defensive movement. Like she was just out of the way of the strikes whenever they were coming. Like Sylvia did a lot better towards the end of the fight, in third round particularly, but for the most part, Carolina was not matrixing, but she was very, very defensively sound in terms of us getting out of the way of shots, like no matter what the strike was. So that was very impressive to me, and was landing her own at will for the most part. So yeah, no, it was a very solid showing from both of them, but Carolina was very impressive, I thought.
yeah.
And what is
I
up,
agree.
Dave Fretz?
Hey, Dave. Yeah, I agree. It was a good fight. Carolina, she looks really good. She looks like a really good prospect to watch out for. It's good to see. It's good to see KSW bring back the women. They haven't done it for a few shows now. I would assume that they want a champion at some point. I mean, they haven't had a female champion since Ariane Lipsky, right?
Yeah, I mean that was the only like the only division they committed
Right.
to was flyweight. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And now this was a strawweight fight. So it'll be interesting to see if they go the way of strawweights rather than flyweights. I don't know. I
Hmm.
mean, never know with KSW. They're amazing though. Uh, God, I love KSW so much, man. Love it. Such a
Dude,
great such a great promotion. And did you see the ending? Did you see how it was finished?
the main
How
event? Of
yeah.
fucking course I saw that shit, dude. I missed the first fight on the UFC card for that fight. You never miss a Kaladov fight. Are you kidding me?
So
Never.
so we had phenomenal knockouts this last weekend,
Oh,
right?
insanity.
Okay, so was that a better knockout than the Buckley one?
I know, but I mean, I think the story, yes, absolutely the story. You think about all the elements of it, for sure, the story. But I mean, I thought that was easy knockout of the year, and then Buckley's like, "Oh, hey, hold my fucking beer, Galadov." So, I
Yeah,
mean, think about it, dude. 40-year-old Kaladov gets his rematch against Scott Askham, who beat him pretty convincingly in the first fight, right? It was a 29-28. Pretty clear how that fight went. Rematch, 40 years old, comes in here, pandemic time, all these things. Everyone thinks that Kaladov's, sliding into retirement and all that,
yeah,
and he kind of
like he's
retired
done.
a little bit.
There
Yeah.
was no talk about him like winning this fight or anything. That from
Yeah,
what I
he was
saw,
the underdog, and rightfully
yeah,
so.
people were just people were just not really talking about him.
Yeah, and I mean the rematch didn't really make sense either, but it's like, man, he just goes out there and shows you why he's such a fucking legend, dude. One of the best middleweights of all time. 36 seconds. 36
Wow,
seconds in the rematch. Knocks him out with a jumping switch kick. Are you kidding
dude,
me, man?
crazy,
That
crazy.
was so you know how I've been saying how it's been hard for me to get excited or have those old moments of like my super excited fandom in me, that was the first moment in a while where when he landed that kick, I screamed like loud. I haven't had one of those moments. It was like, "Oh, I got me so I was so excited and shocked by that moment that I
Yeah,
really freaked out for that. Like more than the Buckley one. And I think that
dude.
might have just
Okay,
I don't know,
so
the whole story of it all.
yeah, I mean, I get it, but that man, that Buckley shit
It was a
was
better knockout, yeah.
it was phenomenal. Yeah, oh, that's got to be knockout of the year. Has to be knockout of the year, right? I mean,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
so Dave, Stamina, Yusuf, hello. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me in the comments what you guys think the better knockout from last weekend was. Was it Buckley or was it the main event from Sandhagen? Or
Oh,
was
that
it
one too.
the KSW main event and ending by switch kick in 36 seconds? I don't know if you guys have seen that KSW 55 main event. If you haven't, you should go check it out
Not
for
very
sure.
long.
I'm pretty sure that everybody in the world has seen the Buckley one because they the UFC's tweet of the highlight of that knockout. I haven't looked lately, but last time I looked, it was at like 15 million views or
It
something
was
like
up
that.
there. That's only
Fifth,
the tweet.
yes, that was just the tweet. 15 million views. That is fucking phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, quite good. And then Kanye reposted it last night. So
Oh
that's a
yeah,
good
I didn't see that.
endorsement. Yeah, he made I think he made some bullshit song about it, which I didn't want to listen to. So
Okay, yeah,
some quick little rap about it or whatever. But
that's cool. I mean that's pretty fucking awesome to be honest. I
yeah,
mean,
for Buckley, yeah.
yeah, fuck yeah for
I
Buck
mean that's good for the UFC too, obviously.
for sure. I mean, Kanye West is. I mean, he's Kanye West. He's one of the
Yeah.
best. He's one of the best.
Yeah. So
Might not
but
like his
as
politics, but
but um
like his
yeah, but as
like
for
his lady.
all right, enough of this Kanye talk. As those were the two best knockouts of the year, I think, and they happened on the same day. So,
Yeah.
um, really crazy action there. And one final thing about KSW that I did want to say was, man, I am even though I already know that they have the best production value out of all MMA organizations, hands down, right? I think that Ryzen is number two next to them, and then one championship is probably third. Um, but Ryzen and KSW are way up there. But KSW, man, is just they're definitely the peak because, dude, I always like their pre-fight hype videos, right? The little promo videos they do right before the fights. Like, man,
So
they're like movie
so
trailers, dude. Like, I was getting so into
yeah.
each fight, just like from that, like, because I don't do a lot of study or pre-prep on KSW shows, but I'll check it out, and then like my excitement's like, oh yeah, I like KSW, like I'll totally watch it. But then right before the fights, they show those videos, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking amped for this shit, dude. Let's
Yeah,
go. Like
they do highlight videos, and then they do like
that's what you want in those videos.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't see why every promotion wouldn't do something like that, where they just show highlights of knockouts of the people that are walking out to the cage.
But the quality and the way they do it too.
Yeah,
Like
they have
it is.
such great production, like in arena, and then also on video.
Yeah.
Their production in general, in all aspects, is amazing.
Unparalleled. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best in MMA for sure. But could you imagine, like,
It's like
going? I say it every time. I say it every time when there's a KSW event. I'm like, dude, I want to be in the stands and fucking be rowdy, and I want to be drinking, and I want to be like I'm at a fucking rave, fucking, I really do, like it gets me pumped up, and I want to fucking be there.
Yeah. That Coliseum show.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, it was amazing. Whereas the UFC, I'm totally fine with no fans. Totally fine with the UFC having no fans. If KSW, did the UFC type of thing, I'd be bored with it.
Yeah, it would not be the same.
Yeah, no. I'm glad that KSW is up and running again, and they're doing their fucking shows, and they didn't change one bit. They didn't change anything.
Dude, they arguably got better. Like that, I really like that venue. That shit was so cool. It was like an underground fight club thing, man. It was so sick. I loved that.
It's like
that's how you do a small show. Crazy good.
For sure. It was like WOTOR. Have you watched WOTOR at all?
I haven't watched, I haven't sat for an event, but I've seen, some of the fights and whatnot. Yeah, but that's a good comparison, though.
It's like a fucking pit, dude. It's crazy. It's awesome. WOTOR is fucking awesome, too. Rave Steve is the content in my life right now. Yeah, dude.
I love that. We all need that stamina. Okay. Now we'll advance to even more hyped up Steve.
Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Tracy Cortez. All right. So she did it, right? She beat Stephanie Ager. 30-27s. She looked good. Like, she looked fucking phenomenal, I thought.
She looked good, yeah, definitely. And I mean, I didn't expect her to look this good. I thought that
for an undersized girl, like maybe we
yeah, we didn't expect that. I don't think it was an amazing performance or anything crazy like that, and it was it was good. It was definitely good, and I thought that Stephanie. Oh yes, right, of course. She could take out Nunes right now. Stephanie, she started off pretty solid, I thought, but then just couldn't really keep it up.
Cortez just was more active, and she's a grinder. That's why I like her, is because she grinds. Reminds me of Tatiana Suarez a lot.
Yeah, not as actively violent though, maybe.
Yeah, not as good with the wrestling, of course. I mean, there might not be a better female fighter with wrestling than Tatiana Suarez, who I want to talk about, by the way. I want to get to Tatiana Suarez at some point.
There's some news there.
At some point in this show, I want to talk about Tatiana Suarez and rankings. But getting back to Tracy Cortez, she looked good. I mean, but again, she's so undersized, and as she gets to better levels of competition, can she keep up this pace against better fighters? She's not ready. She's not ready for a top 15 fighter yet.
No. And that's the thing, like, even though this was a good win against, a former featherweight, surprisingly and all that, and, Egger, I think, is better than this performance showed, which sucks for her, kind of losing this situation and not be as competitive as we kind of expected her to. Obviously short notice and everything, but, she's got
Yeah.
great credentials and is a nice addition to the division regardless. Yeah, I'm still not sold on Tracy at bantamweight because I just can't help but think about, like, my mind always goes to her versus like Sarah McMahon. Like, man, Sarah McMahon would bully the fuck out of her, right? I mean, I can't
Yeah, I mean,
imagine that not being pretty one-sided. And then you think about, oh, you go past Sarah McMahon, well, then you have like Ketlin Vieira, you got Yana Kunitskaya, like bigger and more talented fighters is the thing, right? Like, I don't
well,
know.
even
It's just
even like the in the top 15, Julia Avila. Can we see? Do we see her fighting number
oh,
15,
that'd be good
Julia
too.
Avila, right now? No. Do we see her fighting Pani Kinzad right now? No. Like Sajara Eubanks? No. Macy? No. Like it's really hard to see her competing at a high level, keep competing at a high level at bantamweight because of her size.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of deceiving for her to get wins like this because then it'll make some people and her believe that okay, I can hang with these big talented grapplers, which Egger is, but she's obviously there's still levels to it, right? Especially in MMA. Like, yes, she has
Yeah.
her great judo credentials and all that stuff, but I mean, just as you keep climbing, you're gonna hit that point. You're gonna hit that point. Whereas, take it down to a more even playing field where we've seen you before. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if anybody. I didn't watch her post-fight press interviews and whatnot. I should have, but I wonder if like anybody asked her about that because I would probably it would be like a Scott Coker and Adam Wave thing where I would ask her every time like when are you gonna go back to flyweight until
I
she
would
was really
definitely
firm
ask
about
her
it.
every time. I would ask her every time.
Okay.
I mean, I know she would probably eventually cut me off and, you know,
Yep.
and say, look, or her management would not give me access to them, Sucker Punch stuff. They don't
Yeah.
really give access as it is to their fighters. Very weirdly, like I've talked to James Lynch about it. Like it's weird how Sucker Punch doesn't give access to their fighters for press. But I don't know. Like I don't know. I just don't see. I just don't see how she can hang with those top 15 girls at the bottom of the top 15 yet.
Yeah.
And I don't see it even in after one more fight. Just because of the size. Like it size matters. I know girls say size doesn't matter. Size matters.
Okay. Yeah, we went there. I will say though, I mean, about the back of the top 15 and everything. Like, think about just stylistically and matchups and whatnot. Think about Jessie Jess, who just fought Sarah Alpar, and that same Jessie versus Tracy Cortez with that same same wrestling defense. I think that
Yeah.
Jessie would do the same exact thing for the most part. Maybe not as one-sided, but she'd
It
beat her
would
up
not
pretty good.
yeah, I don't think it would be as one sided as that fight was. I mean
Yeah.
that was just a mauling and I mean that was the best that we've
Tracy has
seen.
better striking, so
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Tracy Cortez has really good striking. I mean, and she's a grinder. She does grind.
Yeah.
You know, so I saw. Yeah. Okay. Size matters. Okay.
So
So let's get to that. Can't believe why they removed Suarez in the rankings. All right. So, Tatiana Suarez has been removed from the UFC rankings because of inactivity. You look at the rankings, and she has been out for quite a while, right? I yes, she's been out for a while, and you can see why they would do it. But you go to the women's pound for pound rankings. You know who is at number 13 and who moved up one spot? The pregnant or just had a baby, Nina Ansaroff. She went up from number 14 to number 13. Why? I have no fucking idea. She should have been taken out of the rankings a long time ago. So she went up from number 14 to 13 in the women's pound for pound rankings. But in her own division's rankings, the strawweight division, she went down one. How does that make any fucking sense at all? Go up in the pound for pound, but down in your own division rankings. She went down from number 5 to number 6. The rankings are a joke. We've established that from the very beginning of this show, back from when we first started, and then now we're continuing on. The rankings are a fucking joke. So now number 15 ranked in the strawweight division, they gave it to Felice Herrig. Is she active?
Not so
How
much.
active? How active is Felice Herrig to be ranked number 15? And did she just lose her last fight?
Very badly, yes.
Okay, why is she ranked number 15 now? All of a sudden, you can plug in Felice Herrig and number 15 when you take out Tatiana Suarez. We haven't even talked about
At
Conor McGregor.
strawweight?
At strawweight, right? We haven't even talked about like Conor McGregor. I mean, the dude went and boxed for fuck's sake, and he stayed in the rankings. Like, I have no issue with Conor McGregor being in rankings or whatever. Just be active. You cannot. People will not take your rankings seriously if you all of a sudden just want to remove one person out of the rankings for inactivity. It's fucking ridiculous. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's very bad. And Yusuf mentions this also. And that was that both of their last fights, actually? Did Tatiana have one after that? Or that was both of their last fights, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like
Which makes it even funnier.
It's ridiculous.
That's the case.
It's pretty crazy that Nina Ansaroff is in the women's pound for pound rankings and moved up one spot.
It's bad. It's very bad.
It's a fucking joke.
Very funny. It's actually, I mean, it's sad actually for the fighters specifically, but
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
the fighters are now saying that rankings don't even fucking matter.
Well, yeah,
I'm
obviously.
seeing a lot of fighters say that the rankings don't mean shit. Darren Till has been saying that.
Yeah. He's calling us saying he's okay with fighting Chimaev now,
Yeah,
who is
he'll
not
fight.
ranked.
Yeah, he'll fight anybody. He don't give a fuck. I love Darren Till. That dude is so fucking amazing on social media. I don't know if it's him. or
I
not.
think it is. He's hilarious though.
Yeah, whoever it is, if it's him, I hope it's him. Darren Till is amazing on both Twitter and on Instagram. Not only that, Yusuf, whenever she comes back, she said she'd fight at 125. That's to say nothing of Andrade still being ranked. They did her dirty. Nina has no place in pound for pound, though. No place in pound for pounds. I mean, she just had a baby. She's been out for months, just as long as Tatiana Suarez. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's not great. not great.
Kind of puts a damper on like the whole rankings thing when they do stupid shit like this.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. I mean, I've given up on them being logical quite a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, I say I do, but then I go and check it, I look at it, and I'm like, and then I hear the news of Tatiana Suarez being fucking taken out for inactivity, and then all these fucking thoughts come up in my head like McGregor, Diaz. As much as I love Nate Diaz, he's not an active fighter. You know, Brian Ortega, he's still ranked freaking. I don't even know what he's ranked right now. Number like 3 or something like that.
Yeah, top 3, I think. Yeah. And then I mean, even Connor at lightweight, he has.
Fucking Brian Ortega's number 2 right now.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, even Connor at lightweight, Connor hasn't won at lightweight since he won the belt in 2016. He's still ranked at lightweight.
He's still a fucking lightweight. They want him to be a champion and relevant so bad.
Just not really.
Well,
so,
maybe if he
fights, should we lighten up here and move to our question of the day, which is a fun one for everybody to participate in. So here, let me pull it up. And yes, I agree. Might as well leave in GSP. He's officially retired, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. He might come back. Who knows? And then he'll be back in the rankings. Okay, this is from at FWM_pod, my buddy Juicy. Do you think GDR could compete with male fighters in the UFC, and which ones? I kind of already answered him by saying how many figgies could beat one GDR. How many Figueiredos could beat one GDR?
He responded with 2.
Yeah, he responded 2, and then I put maybe more, and he said, okay, 3.
Yeah, I like the 2 option. At least 2.
2 Stevenson Figueiredos could beat one GDR.
I think that if we're going to be totally realistic, one Davidson would put up quite a fight. He's very talented. He would probably beat her. But actually, I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, she's beaten a male before. Obviously, that guy in kickboxing was really not much of a fighter. But I mean, if we look at the easy answer to go with here without too much thought is CM Punk is still I think he's still considered on the UFC. He's still getting tested, so he's on the UFC roster still. She would light up CM Punk all day. So that's the easy
I think she would beat the dude who beat CM Punk too, Mickey Gall.
Possible, quite possible. I've never been too high on Mickey Gall, but I was very surprised. And I think this says more about Mike Perry, the fact that Mickey Gall outstruck him a decent amount, a good portion of that fight. I did not expect, but yeah, I think that says more about Mike Perry.
I think GDR puts Mike Perry's nose back in place.
Yeah, don't know. So that's all good fun. And Dave is not a fan of these questions, and I understand that too. But hey, we are men of the people. We will have fun with a question, no matter how silly it is. So, not obviously too much about it.
I still think that one GDR would beat 2 Figueiredos.
So, yeah, that was that. Thank you to him for the question. Nonetheless. So,
yeah, thank you, Juicy.
All right, on with the news of.
Okay, so this is actually really big news. Like, I was super excited for it, because we had already talked about this. Like, I mentioned it. I was like, what if they did it? and they're fucking doing it. Mackenzie Dern is going to fight Virna Jandiroba at UFC 256 on December 12th. Man. If this doesn't go to the fucking ground, my head will explode. Like, I was pissed.
Colby Usman too.
Yes, I was pissed when Colby and Usman didn't go to the ground. Yeah, I was heated because I really wanted to see that wrestling. But if we don't see these motherfuckers go to the ground, if we do not see Mackenzie Dern and Virna Jandiroba go to the ground, dude, I might fucking break my TV. Finally, like my TV actually might get it. Finally, my phone might go straight into the TV.
We will see. We will.
Just think giggles.
Yeah, I mean, matchup wise, you cannot absolutely love this, But as we talked about when what was it, after Dern's last win, and possible matchups for her and everything. Yeah, this is a super fun one, of course, but Virna deserves higher up, She deserves a fucking top 10 ranked opponent.
Mackenzie's a big name, though.
Exactly, yeah.
Mackenzie Dern is a big name. If she can beat Mackenzie Dern and on the ground, could you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not super surprising for those who know about Jandiroba because these are the two best jiu-jitsu players in the division, hands down. End of story, right?
Could be the best in all of women's MMA.
Yeah, very true. I mean, nobody's coming right to mind, which could be a bad thing, but I mean, these are definitely very much up there in terms of their credentials and everything. And then just, the wins that they have in MMA as well. So, yeah, if Jandiroba wins this, then it's like, okay, I mean, that would really help for boosting her name value and exposure to,
for sure,
everybody more so than, let's say, if she was to, if she was to beat, I guess Marina Rodriguez, since that's somebody who's in the top 10, but
I honestly think that Mackenzie Dern is more known than Marina Rodriguez.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting at. So I'm saying, like, just to look at the upside of it rather than facing a top 10 opponent, like, this will help. If she wins this, then she can get the top 10 opponent next, no matter what, plus that extra exposure and being somebody that would beat Mackenzie Dern potentially, right? So, this is an absolute grappler's delight on the ground. It will be amazing if it goes there. And the thing about this matchup, I think, is this fight will only go to the ground if Jandiroba wants to take it there, right? Because we know, you and I both know, and anybody who has a good set of eyes knows that probably the weakest part of Mackenzie's game at this stage is still continued to be her offensive takedowns or ability to get the fight to the ground, or lack thereof. She's not very good at getting the fights to the ground. She's good on the ground, obviously, but getting them there, just kind of miserable. And somebody like Jandiroba is going to be good enough to defend anything that Dern throws at her in terms of trying to get things to the ground. So if it goes there, it'll be because Jandiroba brought it there. And she's definitely should be confident enough in her own abilities, considering who she's hung with in the past, to do that. But depends on how things go on the feet as well. And I think that she's, the cleaner, more technical striker as well. Doesn't have as much power as Dern, I think that's safe to say, but technique-wise, she strikes a bit better and can outpoint her for the most part. So it'll be a very interesting chess match, I think. But yeah, I can't not favor Jandiroba as the overall better fighter. So that's my early prediction, of course, is Jandiroba for the reasons I just laid out. But yeah, as a matchup, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. I wish the Jandiroba got a top 10, but we'll get there. We will get there. So,
yeah, I mean, I think at some point, especially if she beats Mackenzie Dern, she has to fight somebody in the top 10. She'll be, in the limelight if she beats Mackenzie Dern, especially if it goes to the ground and and she beats her.
If
Because
she submits Mackenzie Dern, everyone will lose their minds, but we'd be like, it's fucking Jandaroba, you guys.
yeah, I mean,
This is what she
if
does.
you've really been paying attention to Virna Jandaroba's career, she's fucking really good. I mean, she's great. She's great on the ground. She's a great grappler. Just amazing.
Let's say I'm going to remind everybody this every time that Jandaroba is brought up now, or at least at least before her fights, but defeated Claudia Gadelia and Amanda Nunes both twice in BJJ matches. Remember
Yeah.
that, everybody. Fucking, she's a strawweight. She beat the bantamweight and featherweight champion in straight up jiu-jitsu. So that is how good that she is. Not to say that Mackenzie might not be able to do the same, but we haven't seen that proof. So
Yeah, I mean, so stand up, you got to give it to Jandaroba, right? I mean,
yeah,
Mackenzie doesn't. She's gotten better, but she still flails a whole lot.
yeah.
You know, but she's working on it. Okay, so Stanley said if Perillo gets a good student in Dern, her stand up could be something to contend with. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jason Perillo is one of the best in MMA as far as striking and working with fighters on getting better in their striking. And she showed it. She showed it in her last fight. She's improving. She got better. It's just Mackenzie Dern is a weird fighter. Like I enjoy her fights. I like her fights. I enjoy her. But she can do so much more with it because she's so damn good on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like those takedowns. It's weird how she's not good at taking a fighter down.
It's
I mean,
kind of difficult to watch, man. I cringe a little bit.
Not everybody can be Ronda Rousey or Kayla Harrison judo throws and shit, but you would think that she would be a lot better at getting her opponent down to the ground, but she isn't.
Well, I mean, would you? Because she's not. She doesn't have a judo background. She's a straight up jujitsu girl. She's used to pulling guard a lot, you know? So it's not like she's never had to really,
You
even though
can't
she's
pull
had
guard in
plenty
an
of fights
MMA
now.
fight, though.
But
Like you can't be pulling guard in an MMA fight when a girl's able to fucking get on top of you and fucking strike.
yeah.
Like pulling guard just doesn't work in MMA. In grappling tournaments, fine. Pull guard all you want.
Yeah, but the thing is that she's still been able to win, I think, which is why we haven't seen these crazy improvements, you know? So, like, I don't know. It's definitely a bizarre
She's frustrating.
thing.
Like I really enjoy her, but she's frustrating. She frustrates me.
Yeah, in that area, for sure. And it frustrates me when her opponents are stupid as well. So
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's the thing.
how are you going to go to the ground with her unless if you're
Ugh.
Virna Jandaroba? Like,
Exactly, and that's gonna make me so goddamn mad, assuming, let's say that Jandaroba, like I said, does exactly what I said she does and decides to take the fight to the ground at some point. Not a crazy thought and not a stupid thought because of her skill set, but to the casual audience who doesn't know who Jandaroba is, they will think that she's a moron if she gets submitted. And I'm like, God damn it, you guys, like you don't understand that she's well capable of hanging down here. So that'll frustrate me from seeing shit online. So just from that regard, I hope that if Mackenzie wins, I hope she doesn't submit her. I hope that it's some other way. But I am a firm supporter of Jandaroba, and this has been no secret. I think she's great, and she's a lovely human being as well, a fantastic personality. I'm actually going to try and speak with her here soon. Broaden Horizon style, let's put it that way. If you guys watch my other show, shameless plug there. I'm going to try and do it that way. And yeah, final thing on this matchup, Dave mentions Jandiroba has decent power as well at this point. There's not at all her level standing, I would say. I think that is, yeah, very fair, as we've been touching on. And the thing that I love about Jandiroba's striking, which, it's not amazing or anything, right? It's just good enough because she uses it to lull her opponents into believing that she's going to strike with them for a good amount of time. And then she strikes like a fucking snake, dude, and just wraps you up and gets you to the ground. I love how she hides her takedowns behind her striking for. You never know how long she's going to play in that game, but she will until she's ready to finish things off. And
Yeah,
sometimes she doesn't even do that. Like this last fight with Felice Herrick, she's just like, "All right, let's end it up quick." So
yeah.
that's why it's so fun to watch her.
I don't see that happening with Mackenzie Dern. I mean,
But trying
Mackenzie's
to go
she's a,
immediately.
she's a smart girl. She's not gonna. She's not gonna. I don't think that she would try to get in a striking war and then get lulled into going to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We will see. So, all right. We will move on from that, and we have a question from Yusuf. I caught you, buddy. Don't think I missed you this time. You had to repeat
Does
last
the
week.
UFC signing Danielle Wolf indicate featherweight division is staying? Who knows? I mean,
I do.
honestly, like I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. We've talked about this so much. Like we don't just don't. I don't get it. I don't understand what they're doing. I mean, maybe they are because they're signing girls, but again, like you would think that they would sign Pam Sorensen.
Yeah. No, I don't think that it indicates this at all. And, I kind of ranted about it after she won this fight because really, what is the idea here? And there's not much of an explanation behind it other than the fact that they can sell some Danielle Wolf tickets for a little bit. All right, wordplay. Look at me go. That was a good one. Come on, give me some of that. That was good. But even then, it's not like they're gonna put Danielle Wolf in co-main events and give her the Greg Hardy treatment. At least I wouldn't think so. But that's kind of the only thing that would make sense because she's the only one that they signed for featherweights and prospects and whatnot. Like this is the big thing here. If they were absolutely serious, this is what I said after she won the fight, Yusuf. If you missed this, if they were serious, if they were finally fucking serious after it's going to be 4 years in February since they created their featherweight division. If they were serious, they would have just signed both Wolf and Tenet directly to the UFC and had them fight at featherweight on a UFC card instead of taking a spot on the Contender Series for other rising prospects who deserve it much more and will actually fight in real fucking divisions. I don't know. I don't think this indicates shit. They're just trying to keep the illusion alive
Yeah,
because there's really no one. There's literally no one that makes sense for Daniel Wolf to fight right now. There's not unless they bring up a prospect from bantamweight like I don't know. I guess they could do Duda Santana, but even Duda Santana would probably beat her. Even though I do think that Daniel Wolf didn't look as bad as many people think so, but it's like that was her fucking debut, man. Like you can't put her against Felicia Spencer. Felicia Spencer would absolutely destroy her in a minute. So it's like
for sure.
it's just it's just bad.
It's weird, man. They're doing some weird shit in the featherweight division. Like we get a
And this is
fight
nothing
here.
against Daniel Wolf either. It's
No,
just
we
UFC's decisions.
we get a fight here and there. A random fucking fight. Megan Anderson versus Felicia Spencer that gets hopes up. Now we get Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. But where's the division going to go after that?
Maybe Daniel Wolf will just get the title shot right away. See?
Who's who's on the horizon?
Daniel Wolf. right?
Now you're really selling wolf tickets.
Hey, I told you, Danielle Wolf tickets, baby. I'm gonna make that a hashtag. We selling Danielle Wolf tickets now.
As Stamina said, boo this man. Boo.
Who are we
Boo.
boo? Who are we booing? We're booing me.
You. Boo.
I thought everyone was on my side with this, but okay.
Nobody's laughing.
It's good. It's a good one. So yeah. All right. Back to the news, and this is a very interesting one. I would say matchup
Yeah, I
wise.
like it. Roxanne Modafferi is returning to take on Viviane Araújo. January 30th, many months away,
A
almost
ways
February,
away.
many months away, almost in February.
Many
Um,
moons.
many moons. A lot of things can happen in between now and January 30th. Um, do we finally see the end of Roxy? We keep saying it, like you keep saying it, not me, because I would never put any bad juju on Roxanne Modafferi. But could this be the one?
Um, I I don't think so. As much as
Oh,
I
oh, so you thought Andrea Lee was the one?
seems more reasonable, right? Seems
I
more
don't know.
reasonable.
Viviani
Andrea
has that
Lee,
knockout power.
yeah, she does. She does, but the thing is, she also still has that question mark with the gas tank and, having wrestlers apply their pressure to her, which
Yeah,
we for some reason didn't get to see from Montana. Like we were hoping to get that question answered once and for all in that matchup, but
it's so
we
weird.
didn't. But Roxanne Modafferi, she's got a pretty solid IQ, fight IQ, and will definitely try to get the fight into her wheelhouse, despite her ever continually improving and capable striking. Surprisingly, So I think that yeah, we will definitely find that out in this fight. Viviani will probably piece her up every now and then, but Roxy obviously can hang in there against very good strikers like KGB still. But also another little thing is to look at Roxy's actually on a bit of a pattern here. She's win loss win loss win loss in like her last six maybe. I don't have a record up here, but that's something to look at in terms. If you want to be superstitious, be like, all right, Araujo is going to win then because that's the pattern going on. But matchup wise, I think it's a little bit hard to go against Roxy considering both of their last fights, even though they were both wins and good wins. Like Araujo's win was good over Montana. We just didn't get that question answered that we needed to against these types of fighters. So this is a very good test, I think, for both of them because Viviani's a very sharp striker, and if Roxy can get through someone like her, who is still a possible contender, shows that she has yet to fade, and that I was wrong again. I was wrong once again.
You're
So,
always wrong.
Araujo, very true. My apologies to her.
Especially
Thank you,
you were
Stamina.
wrong. You were wrong with Tracy Cortez,
I was, but
my baby girl.
yeah, I was wrong on that one. But I'm not surprised by it.
I'm not surprised either.
So yeah, I think that's a fine matchup. Look forward. Look, I mean, I'm fucking scared it
It's so
won't
far
happen
away,
because of
though.
yeah, I'm scared it won't happen because of
Yeah, I
how
mean,
soon it was
it's
announced.
so fucking far. Like, I think this is the furthest out matchup that there is in the UFC right now.
Yeah,
I,
it
I
has
mean,
to
this
be.
is incredibly
This is
far
later
away.
than This is later than potentially Connor and Poirier too. Potentially,
Oh
right?
my god,
If that fight happens, it would be
Poirier and
after that.
Conor McGregor too. What do we think? Like, what do we think about that fight? We have to talk about that. Like, we have to. It's such a big fight. Those two polarizing people in MMA. You know, Conor McGregor. Obviously, he's Conor McGregor. He's the man in MMA. But Dustin Poirier, since their last meeting in 2014 or 15, one of them,
Hmm.
he's really changed, like the way he fights. Like he's come along. He's come a long way. He fought Habib Nurmagomedov better than Conor McGregor fought Habib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true. Dustin has completely, completely reinvented himself since that time. Um, and you could argue that he's etched himself down as one of the best lightweights of all time. Obviously, maybe not that upper area, but man, he has really done some great things and proven to be an awesome overall fighter.
Yusuf
Um,
Yusuf said McGregor sleeps him. Care to
I
give me
mean,
a round, Yusuf?
it is possible. I think that is definitely possible. Connor, obviously, as we saw in that Cerrone fight, is still very sharp and a talented fighter, but at the same time, Cerrone did not offer up much to show how sharp Connor can be in a fight against somebody who's gonna last a bit. And I don't think that let's put it this way. I do not think that Connor would beat Dustin as fast as he did the first time because that was like a minute 30. That was not a very long fight. So I don't know. I don't know. My argument to this potential matchup was Dustin, he's been a lot more active, fought a lot more high level people recently, been in all these wars, which gives him an advantage. But then at the same time, it's like he has been taking damage despite his activity, where Connor's been resting up and all that. But Connor's not getting in those reps against those guys. So it goes both ways in which how you want to look at it. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it's still a very interesting matchup despite Connor's lack of activity and
Yeah, I mean,
improvements to be seen. But with that said, I still favor Dustin just because of the activity and how good he's looking. Like his defense has improved so much. Like I think a great example is that Holloway fight and just the way that man, I don't know, he rolls with punches and blocks them very well with his arms in unique ways that we don't see from a lot of people. And yes, he is still hittable, Yusuf, still very hittable, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a very interesting one. I would love to see it. I think it'd be. Let's just put it this way: it would be a different story, no matter who wins. So
I think that at this point, this is the fight that if Conor McGregor is ever going to return to MMA, I mean, I'm sure that he will. He keeps saying he wants one MMA fight and then Manny Pacquiao in 2021. He keeps saying that. Do we see that? I don't know. But if Conor McGregor is to return, Dustin Poirier is the deserving person to fight Conor McGregor and finally get a big payday. I know he was an interim champion. I know that he fought Habib Nurmagomedov. He probably got paid pretty well with that fight. But still, it's a Conor McGregor fight. And he's still one of the best in the UFC, pound for pound. We haven't seen Conor McGregor. We saw him against a very downsliding Cowboy Cerrone. He didn't fight the best Cowboy Cerrone either. Cowboy
no,
Cerrone is at the twilight of his career. He's very far from his best at this point.
yeah,
Dustin
yep,
Poirier is still very legit, very good, and very deserving of a big fight against Conor McGregor. Hittable but durable, and can stay the course way better. Absolutely, he stays. He has a game plan and he sticks with it. We saw it again against Habib Nurmagomedov. He did very well until he didn't, of course. I mean, but that's like everybody. I mean,
yeah,
Habib Nurmagomedov just is to me, he's, other than John Jones, he's pound for pound best fighter in the world. Again, until somebody beats John Jones, it's kind of hard for me to say John Jones isn't the pound for pound best active fighter right now. Habib is on another level. So, and Dustin did very well. I don't know. I like this fight. I really do like this fight. I think it's entertaining. I think it's a fight that the fans want. For more so, I think more so at this point for Dustin Poirier.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. I think Dustin or Tony for Connor would be pretty sweet. But at the same time, I'm like kind of in that boat with Stamina where I don't really care too much about Connor. He's so much talk at this point. Like
Yeah.
if
It's tired.
I'll believe it when I see it. You know,
It's
he's
just
just kind of
tired-
saying shit,
tired
thinking that he
conversation.
can, thinking that he can make up his rules. You know, he's like, all right, I accept it, but it's gonna be in Cowboy Stadium. Like that's the excuse right there. That little line is, if it doesn't happen, it's because he didn't. I said this specifically. I didn't back out of it because this is what I said. Like, well, no, dude, you don't get to fucking decide where the events are, especially during this time, like this time of the world, you know. Like,
Well, to be fair, the Dallas Cowboys are active. They're playing right now, and they do have fans in the stadium.
yep, very true. But I mean, still
And
not
he's
his
friends with
decision.
Jerry Jones.
Friends, I'm sure they're very close.
I mean, they're business. They're business friends. They're not like homies fucking drinking 40s
he
together.
went to a game once. Da-da-da.
He was on the field. He was throwing balls. You know, he could be their next quarterback. I mean, Dak Prescott's out for the season.
Hey, now Andy Dalton is the truth.
All red rocket.
All right.
You ginger bastards. You ginger bastards stick together.
Yeah, right. Even though I'm not ginger, goddammit.
You're
Everyone
pretty
says
fucking
that.
ginger, bro.
I have ginger-ish highlights to.
I've seen you in person a couple of times.
I know.
You're
but
pretty fucking ginger.
gingery. I'm not freckly though, so
So because you don't have freckles means you're not a ginger?
I'm not 100% ginger then.
You're like 99.999% ginger.
Sure, we'll take that. I will not be discriminated. Anyway,
This is
well,
ridiculous.
one last bit of
I'm gonna put out a poll with. I'm gonna find a picture of you, a really good picture of you. Put out
This
a
is a good
poll
idea.
and say, "Is this guy a ginger bastard?"
I think that's a great idea. Actually, I'm
gonna do
interested
it.
to see.
Fucking on now.
Here, you should use my use my picture of me and Cyborg since it's timely with the week.
Okay.
But yes. Anyways, we will get to Cyborg right after this final piece of
Cyborg,
news
baby.
here. So here we are.
Okay. We talked about it last week, I believe.
The signing, yeah.
XFC 43 on November 11th. Jessica Aguilar will be taking on Danielle Taylor. Did not see that one coming. We didn't know who the opponent was, but didn't see Danielle Taylor coming at all. That was, for me, I was like, whoa. I was like, wow, that's actually a really good fight. That's fun and kind of weird, you know?
Yeah.
How did they get Danielle Taylor to sign with them? Maybe for this one fight. It's a big fight. I mean, Jessica Aguilar is a pioneer in MMA, so I mean, it's a good fight for Danielle Taylor. Is
There
it a
we
good fight for Jessica Aguilar? Right?
That's the
When I saw this, my immediate reaction was, "Oh shit, good signing! Oh shit, that's a good fight for Danielle Taylor."
Yeah. Like I'm super happy for Jessica Aguilar. You know, I've spoken to her before, great person, great pioneer, all this stuff. I'm hoping to speak with her again before this. But yeah, and I think that I'm excited to see how she looks after all this time away and improving herself and everything.
Yeah.
But man, in terms of matchup, this is such a bummer because we all know Danielle Taylor has that Danielle Taylor effect where her fights aren't great. She'll throw about one, two, or three bombs a whole fight, kind of move around and make it difficult to get a hold of her, eke out a split decision, controversially. Um, I think that Jessica Aguilar can definitely beat her, especially if she shows up like we know that she can show up from the World Series days and whatnot, just the pre-UFC days, really. Of course, that's somewhat of a big ask, but if she's healthy and all that, it's possible. And, rejuvenated with the new camp, all those things. But it won't be easy because Danielle Taylor never makes anything easy. you know, so
She's
it's kind of
durable.
frustrating to watch kind of fighter is Danielle Taylor.
She's
So
durable. She's just, in the
yeah,
fight at all times.
yeah. But
So I just looked it up. This fight is on a Wednesday.
oh really? Wow. We might have to switch days around because I'm gonna want to watch this card.
Yeah, and it's, as you can see on the bottom there, it's live and free on NBC Sports. That's
Love it.
big. That's big for XFC, and they have a hexagon. It's not an octagon. It's literally a hexagon. Have you seen an XFC event?
I have seen some clips and everything. I know I've seen the hexagon, but I can't
Yeah,
remember
it's
exactly
actually
how it
pretty
looks.
fucking dope. Like
Yeah.
obviously it's different than an octagon. It's a hexagon, so there's more sides. But it's cool though. Like the cage is really cool.
It's got to be big then, right?
It's big. It's a big cage. I don't know the dimensions
Yeah.
of the cage, but I would assume that it's bigger than the UFC's 30-foot cage. Yeah. I would
Yeah.
assume. I mean, I could be wrong, but like watching it, seeing it visually, I would think that it's bigger. I could be wrong though. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be 30, somewhere around there.
I wonder what Bellator's cage size is too, because I always feel like Bellator's is fucking huge.
Bellator looks big, but I
It
think
looks
it's
big.
because of the height. I think it's because of the height of the
The
cage.
platform, yeah.
Yeah, and it's raised. It's a very high platform. Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've sat at press at Bellator. You're low.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty low watching a Bellator fight at press. You're looking up rather
Yeah.
than rather than looking, level to
Mm-hmm.
the cage. At Bellator, you're kind of looking up at the fights.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. This is very true. But happy that Jessica Aguilar got an opponent. Happy that Danielle Taylor gets an opportunity. Have nothing against her as a person, just as a fighter. She's one of those frustrating fighters to watch who has her way of, making fights look like the way that they do. So that's the best way to put it. She's got that effect on people. But I think it is winnable for both of them, obviously. And I look forward to it. I'm very curious to see if I have cursed Jessica Aguilar. So this might not even happen. The Jessica curse, remember?
Yeah.
so so fuck me, everybody, if that happens. I apologize. I
Fuck
apologize in
Drake.
advance.
Fuck Drake the ginger. You ginger
Nah.
bastard.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, so earlier Yusuf said, if McGregor is headlining in January, when is Rose versus Wiley? Dude, it's
Oh,
so it's frustrating, right? Like we want to see, everybody wants to see Wiley fight again, right? Like we want to see her fight. It was such her first title fight where she defended against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the fight of the year, the women's fight of the year. For now, I mean, there's still time, but up until now, the women's fight of the year, right?
the fight of the year overall.
Yeah, I mean,
There actually hasn't been that many contenders for Fight of the Year if you think about it. Like, look at even these UFC cards,
There's a
like
lot of knockouts of the year, though.
performance
Yeah,
bonuses. Yeah, no
yeah,
fight bonuses.
right. That's true. That's very true. So maybe this is fight of the year. Little little something here. Drake and I are going to do an award show, end of the year award show. That's coming up. We're going to do a special MMA WMMA Today award show. I'm
Surprised we haven't done this sooner.
we think it's going to be on a special day, maybe like a Sunday or something. We're going to get all suited up. Well, Drake's going to wear his little bow tie, I'm sure.
As I do.
The little ginger bastard in his bow tie. Me, I'm probably going to wear fucking my Star Wars shirt. I don't know. And my Game Over hat. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, we're gonna do a WMMA Today award show later on in the year. I mean, shit, we only have 2 months at this point.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
So look out for that.
Yes, that will be.
More news will be coming, obviously. I mean, we'll let you guys know. You guys can take part as well.
Yeah, we should do polls and stuff for people to vote on their choices. Yeah.
We can definitely do polls. We can do a lot with it. If you have any ideas, shoot them to Drake and I. Let us know what your ideas are for an award show.
Yep. Faux show. So, all right, let's get to it. The big one.
All right, so Bellator 249 preview, which is tomorrow, Thursday night. Chris Cyborg will be taking on Arlene Blanco for the Featherweight title. This is Chris Cyborg's first title defense in Bellator, and Arlene Blanco is not an easy out. I know a lot of people are saying that she's gonna get wrecked, she's gonna get slapped. I see it quite often when I'm browsing Bellator stuff. They don't even know who Arlene Blanco is, to be honest.
Unfortunately.
Right.
Very unfortunately. And I mean, yeah, of course, Cyborg could definitely sleep Blanco. But also, just when you said that, it made me think about how we haven't really seen Cyborg do that to the same effect as we were accustomed to really since, let's say, the Leslie Smith fight. You know, like there was that stretch of time where she was really just taking people out real
It's been a while.
quick and easily. But I think it's because she changed her style to be less aggressive and as much of a berserker, because she used to just go at people, end it as quickly as possible. Now she's a lot more calculated, and her technique has improved tremendously over her period with the UFC, aside from the Amanda Nunes fight where she kind of reverted back to her old style and it cost her. So funny how that works. So yeah, and I don't think that she will fight that way against Blanco, and if she does beat Blanco, which is very possible, and I mean, the most likely outcome, if we're going to be honest, despite how good Arlene is in her own right, I don't think that she'll, hit her with a one-hitter quitter or anything. I think it would be kind of an accumulative beatdown, or not beatdown, but an accumulative finish, similar to like the Julia Budd win in her last fight, where that was just kind of Cyborg broke her down a little bit over time.
Yeah, it was like a grinding fight against Julia Budd. Like, who saw that coming?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a different kind of approach there.
It was a really nice fight from Chris Cyborg.
Yeah. So
okay, so if Blanco can keep her at range, it will be interesting. I believe that Blanco is fully capable of keeping Chris Cyborg at range, especially if Chris Cyborg doesn't come in as she hasn't been lately. But if we see like the very aggressive Chris Cyborg, then man, I mean, Blanco can get slapped quickly.
But that she could also catch Chris, man. and
Yeah,
then she
I mean
could
she can.
catch him in
She
that
she
case.
has power. She has tremendous power.
Yeah.
Arlene Blanco.
And that's the thing too, is like I don't remember who I was making this comparison to, but when we talked about this matchup, what, 2 weeks ago or whenever it was actually announced, Blanco, the problem people have against Cyborg is either they will get too aggressive or too defensive and kind of shell up. So like think for example, kind of almost all of Cyborg's Invicta opponents who were way too aggressive and went to charge into her charging at them, which
Yeah,
is just
those
like,
girls had no chance. Like
yeah, just like fuck
they
it, let's
they
go
legit
for it.
had no chance. I mean,
And and yeah, and then the opposite of that would be like where Bud was a bit too
complacent.
hesitant, yeah,
He
too
was
complacent and
complacent.
everything.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody like Blanco, I think that she is smart enough and has showed her skills enough in this last long stretch of fights that she is not gonna get out of her head and stick to her game plan, which will surely be to keep things at range and just fight smart really, and go where the fight feels like it is gonna go, and try to employ her boxing style where she's landing shot after shot while staying out of the way and everything. And I think that the fact that no audience really benefits her in this case, because you think about, if we look back at the Julia Budd fight, for example, that it magnifies the moment so much, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Blanco has fought for the title before against Julia Budd, and arguably people think she should have won that fight. Definitely, there's a case for it to be made that it was a robbery and whatnot, which that's very impressive in its own right that Blanco was able to do that. And I mean, whether you think she won or lost, she had great moments of success against somebody like Julia Budd. So Arlene Blanco is definitely one of the greatest featherweights of all time. And I mean, that's not saying much, of course, compared to other divisions, but it is true. She is a very, a mainstay and staple of the elites at 145 pounds.
Yeah.
And
It's weird though because she's like not known by people. As I was saying earlier, I skim through the Bellator stuff, on
Bellator's fault.
yeah, they just did not push this fight. This fight in general, they did not push it up until this week, fight week. Prior to that, they pushed Chris Cyborg. Of course,
Hmm.
Chris Cyborg is the champion and the new big thing in Bellator. And they kind of want to feed off her success in the UFC and Strikeforce and Invicta and stuff. She's very well known, not in MMA, but Muay Thai and kickboxing and stuff too.
Yeah.
They totally missed the boat on Arlene Blanco though.
Yeah.
They could have let people know what Arlene Blanco does. She finishes fights with her hands.
Yeah, and not with her hands like the slam.
Yeah, she gets in very violent fights. Her fights are very violent, and I would assume that this fight against Chris Cyborg is going to be very violent because they're both that type of fighter.
Hmm. Yeah. But
I
I
know
mean,
we
Arlene
have.
is very tough too.
Oh yeah, she's incredibly tough. I know we have Korean Zombie and Ortega. That's a big fight. I get it. We've been looking forward to that for a very long time. But to me, for this week, this is the big fight of the week. Chris Cyborg and Arlene Blanco.
Yeah. Title's on the line, man. I'm just really happy that Blanco is getting her rightful title shot when we're considering the possibility of poor Juliana Velasquez losing out on her opportunity. So I'm just very happy for Blanco to be still getting this, after working so hard for it. And
Yeah.
I think she'll rise to the occasion, man. Whether even if she loses in defeat, I think she's going to put up a great fight and get a lot of fans from this. At least I hope so.
I
You
would
always
hope so,
want
yeah.
you just want good fights in general, no matter who the winner is. But yeah, ultimately, it's just like, as much as I do believe in Arlene and think she's as good as she is, it's like we're still talking about Cyborg here, and Cyborg has not shown any real signs of slowing down too much. Maybe this will be the time that it happens, but until we actually see that, it's hard to predict.
Well, we
So
did see it. We saw it against Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, but then we see what she's done after that, and it's like, took out two very good featherweights in Spencer and Bud. One of those being one of the best ever.
Spencer's not on the level of Amanda Nunes and Julia Budd though.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, Bud still. So
Yeah, Bud was off that fight.
yeah, man, I'm eager to see that. Even if well, if Blanco wins, then they'll do an immediate rematch. You would imagine, but um, yeah, I do want to see Cyborg and Bud too at some point. So
I would think that
either way,
if Cyborg wins, then they would probably do Julia Budd for a second time. I I would assume that they would do
you
that.
think over Cat?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think the cat is ready for a title fight. I mean, I get it. She's like 36 or something like that.
Mhm.
But
I think he's like 38, 39, dude.
is she like,
Yeah.
wow, she's still hot.
Age is just a number, bro.
Yeah, but she's,
Then what, Cat versus Kavanaugh or something? In the meantime? Is that what you would do? That'd be a fun fight. That'd be
fun.
really fun.
That would be a super fun fight. Kavanaugh might fucking might spark her. Shit.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Okay, so who are you picking in this fight?
Yeah, in the end,
Are you picking Chris Cyborg?
yeah, I'm taking Cyborg by unanimous decision. I don't think she'll finish her, man. I really believe in Blanco to at least put up enough of a fight to make it all 5 rounds. And you know, I'm very excited for it. But yeah, I can't go against Cyborg, so Cyborg by UD.
Stamina said Steve, aka Captain Obvious, about what though? About Kat Zingano being hot?
Most likely.
So I'm gonna go with Arlene Blanco.
Nope, I lost you there for a second. Did you pick Blanco?
Oh my god, you lost me in my pick. You,
I heard Blanco, so I'm assuming you're picking against me.
I'm picking Arlene Blanco. Yeah, man, I believe in this girl. Like, I believe in that fire inside of her. I believe in that fire inside of her. She is, man.
Dude, imagine this.
The scenes.
Imagine
Australia.
That's exactly where I'm going. Imagine Blanco knocks off Cyborg.
Crazy.
And then in December, Megan takes out Nunes. Australia would just
okay. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy. I mean,
hey man, hey man.
It can happen. It's a fight. It can happen. Anything can happen. But yeah,
Aussie.
I'm gonna go with Arlene Blanco. Man, I just like her. I like her fire. I like that fire that she's got in her. That fierceness. That fucking. She's just crazy. Like, she gets wild. I like that about her.
Do you remember the death stare moment that she had with Leibrock?
Yes.
When Leibrock got in her face and
dude,
just
that was so
undeterred.
crazy.
That was intense.
So crazy. But then Blanco fucking slammed her on her head.
Yep.
So,
that was
Blanco slammed her on her head, and I think that was the knockout of the night.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, let's see. Yeah, that was yeah. I mean, the Rampage. That was Rampage, and Vanderlei was on there too. But I mean, that was a slam. It's hard to beat slam, dude. That was so good. That was loud. It had all those cool elements of. I love that one. Also, I want to point something out here real quick before we shift with our diversive picks, which is awesome. It says that their heights 5'8" to 5'5". I don't know if you saw the weigh-ins today, but
I saw that.
They looked pretty much the same height.
I don't think that Arlene Blanco is 5'5".
That seems hard to imagine.
That's Tracy Cortez's height.
Yeah, I think she's taller than that for sure.
I'll pull up Tapology really quick.
Yeah, I should see if I can find a picture too from that. Bellator 249. When? Yeah, dude, they're like the same fucking height, unless their shoes. Yeah, they are wearing.
They have her at 5'5" too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blanco does have shoes on in here. So, okay, maybe she's slightly shorter, but that seems like a bit exaggerated here. I'll pull it up for you.
Hmm.
And you guys can also say what you think about this. There it is. So, I mean, and Cyborg has no shoes on.
Cyborg has no shoes, right? But I mean, they're far away. There's angles to pick to photos, and all kinds of crazy shit going on in photos. Um,
Yeah.
Blanco,
Either way,
Blanco
it's
was
not that
tiny.
much of a difference.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's not a. Is there a 4 foot difference, a 4 inch difference between Cyborg and Blanco? Like, I just don't see that happening. We'll see. We'll see. I guess tomorrow night in the cage. I mean,
yeah.
I guess, I guess if these sites are saying it's probably true.
Mhm.
It just doesn't seem like it's true. And Stamina said Valentina is 5'5". Yeah, it's crazy that Blanco is fighting it at featherweight, being 5'5". That's tiny.
I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. I think the measurements are off there.
I know. I kind of want to ask her myself. Like, I don't believe all of these sites. How tall are you?
Well, some of them are flat out wrong. Do you remember Anthony Smith and Rackage? They said that Rackage was shorter, I think,
Right.
by like a decent amount, and he was obviously taller.
That's true. But if
Um,
but if like Tapology and Bellator are saying it, I would assume that she's 5'5".
maybe.
But I mean, looking at that picture though, like you said, I mean, they're basically even though she has shoes on, and Cyborg doesn't have shoes on.
Yeah.
She
And
does look skinnier than Cyborg though, like in the waist and stuff.
uh, yeah, I mean, I think she looks like they match up pretty well there in terms of size, but I don't know. We'll see on fight night. That's the real determiner. So
Yeah, for
I am
sure.
excited. I am excited.
Super
And
exciting fight.
no Thursday night football to get in the way of it. They're lucking out on that. Coronavirus saved them there.
Yeah, and it's on CBS Sports Network, in prime time.
Yep.
Man, this hopefully this fight pulls in numbers. I hope that this fight card pulls in numbers. Um,
Yeah.
Cyborg deserves it. Cyborg deserves all the accolades that she can get, all the viewership that she can get. She's been around forever. She's a true champion of the sport. She's been a champion in freaking every organization that she's ever fought in. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But Blanco is sleeping her, baby.
Bud Blanco's pulling it off.
I
That'd
hope
be
so.
a great story. So,
Yeah, I really do hope so. I mean, not because I hate Cyborg at all. Like, I really do. I really like Cyborg as a fighter. I'm going with Blanco on this one. Fuck it.
hell yeah. All right. We got two more for the weekend, everybody.
UFC Fight
UFC
Island
time.
6. Jillian Robertson is taking on Poliana Botello in a flyweight fight. This is entertaining. It should be an entertaining fight. They're both entertaining fighters.
Yeah, they definitely are that. And Jillian Robertson, like when I was really analyzing like her UFC career and I mean just kind of her career overall to this point earlier today and like dude, it's kind of she's very good for her lack of for how many fights that she has and how young that she still is. Like it's kind of crazy. I mean, obviously she's not at that next level yet, and we've seen her, lose to people like Macy Barber and stuff who are more highly touted than she is, yada yada yada. But man, she's finished all of her UFC fights. Like I didn't realize that. That's pretty
Yeah.
nuts. And now she has the record over Ronda for most submissions by a female in the UFC, which or what was it, arm bars maybe? I mean,
On
it was
board, yeah.
one of those, which was actually surprisingly low because Ronda didn't actually hit that many arm bars in the UFC. And Jillian just got promoted to black belt. I mean, We knew that her grappling was good, obviously, because of the submissions that she was hitting and all that stuff. Competed against Amanda Lowen, no shame in that loss there. We knew that was going to happen, but the fact that she went in there and tested herself and then got that rub, got that experience from facing somebody like Lowen is going to be beneficial regardless. And I mean, just in terms of this matchup, I still think that Polyana Botello, I almost said Viana there, Polyana Botello, she has still has some potential. She was kind of, I felt like in hindsight, the Calvillo matchup with versus Botello, in hindsight, that seems like too soon. But then you look back at that time, you're like, yeah, they were kind of on the same trajectory path as prospects at that moment. So it was fine at the time, but you look back at it, you're like, maybe that was a bit off there in matchmaking, and we saw Botello get beat quite convincingly in that one. Yeah, I think that she still has plenty to show, and she's solid on the ground, and we've seen her put things together on the feet, obviously against Suri Kondo. But Jillian Robertson, in terms of her resume and who she's fought, the competition is significantly better. Like, she's just fought better opponents.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
A lot more notable. And that's even excluding, fighting on The Ultimate Fighter and training with all of those other people, Barb Honchak and all those that she went against, and getting the experience, like even in defeat against Lowen, like same thing on The Ultimate Fighter. So Jillian has been improving a lot in a short amount of time and is just, proven to be better against much better competition compared to Botello. And, they do have a similar opponent in Calvillo, who they both lost to. And Calvillo actually beat Botello, not Botello. She did beat Botello, but she beat Robertson in like her third fight or whatever. So that one's a bit of more of a meh kind of point. But yeah, just in terms of breaking it down and looking at each of them and what they've done against who they've done it against, I think it's a little bit hard to go against Jillian right now. And, seems like everything is working right for her. The momentum is in her corner. So with that said, I think that she'll probably do what she does, find a submission. I'm going to say second round.
Yeah. I see Botello getting submitted at some point. If she's going to win the fight, it has to stay on the feet. She has to strike with Jillian. She should have better striking than Jillian, but she probably doesn't. Jillian is she's a better like overall fighter, I would say. Pollyanna is just weird. Like her fights she should be better than what she has shown in the UFC. She's one of those fighters that are kind of frustrating if you've seen her fight elsewhere. She should be better than what she's giving. Maybe this is her turnaround fight. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I think that Jillian Robertson, like you, probably gets the submission rather quickly, first, second round.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll take 2 rounds. Maybe it'll come in the third. I don't know. But I think that it happens at some point where Jillian Robertson is able to grind and get her to the ground and then just get some kind of submission. Is it an armbar? Maybe not. Maybe a rear naked choke. Maybe a Kimura. Kimura would be dope. She's learning. It's crazy. We're seeing her learn like right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's fun because she's incredibly marketable. She's incredibly fun. She's a fun, energetic person. Yeah, I just Jillian Robertson should have her way in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, she kind of systematically, breaks people down with her grappling. Like, you look at the Courtney Casey fight, for example, just kind of a prolonged domination on the ground before finally submitting her with the armbar, I believe it was, late in the third. So it's going to be interesting to see. Going to be very interesting. And look at the abs on Botello.
Yeah, I mean she always looks great. She looked great, but we haven't seen her fight IQ translate to the octagon yet.
Yeah, I mean the Mueller win, her last fight was a good win, but Mueller's kind of dropped off a bit since she
Yeah,
came to
I
the
mean
UFC. So
she's not. I feel like Jillian Robertson a very high step up. You know.
yeah, comparatively, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the first of two flyweight fights actually, and the
Yeah.
second
Two
one's
flyweights.
a hell of a biggin.
Yeah. So we have Caitlin Chikagian versus Jessica Andrade. We've seen so many matchups for Jessica Andrade, crazy matchups. Like she was gonna fight Jessica and now she's fighting Caitlin Chikagian in flyweight. Um, and this could very well be Caitlin Chikagian's last fight.
Could
She
be,
said,
even though it sounded like
she said she wants
she.
to start a family. Um, she said that this could be her last fight.
Yeah. We will see. I mean, it's never great when fighters are talking about that kind of thing. You want to be fully focused on what they're doing, which is getting punched in the face, kicked in the face, elbowed in the face, knee in the face, you name it, choked
Yeah,
out.
she's gonna get all of that from Jessica Andrade too. A former champion. It's pretty crazy that Caitlin Chikagian is talking about possibly retiring uh, at some point soon, um, because Jessica Andrade is a beast. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a former champion. We've seen the best from her already. I feel like we've we've seen the best from her. Will she beat Caitlin Chikagian? Probably.
Yeah. I mean, spoiler alert. I am taking Jessica in this fight, but I will say, I've been one of those people who has always kind of backed Chukagian and said that she is supported her in the way that I believe she's better than a lot of people give her credit for. And I mean, if you look at this matchup, the best path to victory here well, for Caitlyn and most people against Andrade is to do their best to replicate what Joanna did, right? So play the matador, keep Jessica at distance, hit her when she can't hit you as you're moving away, all that kind of stuff. Caitlyn very capable of replicating that game plan, but easier said than done. In terms of the statistics and the measurements, I mean, geez, she has the length in her favor massively. Like, so it shouldn't be as hard as you might assume, especially for someone who is as good of a striker as she is. But she throws in pretty good volume, so I don't know if she'll want to be as active and in starting initiating the striking exchanges here with Jessica, because she'll come in and eat some bombs. Most likely, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then this is Andrade at flyweight. I don't think her speed will go down very much, but her power will increase by not having to cut much weight, as not as much weight, that is. So it's one of those things. I see this going where Jessica Andrade will be the one who ends up landing the more effective and damaging shots, but she will get outstruck, right? Like the volume will be in Chukagian's favor, and she'll land
Which
a lot more
it
distance
typically
strikes.
is. It,
Yeah,
it typically is that way in Caitlin Chikagian fights. She's a heavy volume striker.
yeah, yeah, she is, and moves a lot, is very mobile, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Jessica will need to cut her off if she can. Easier said than done, of course, on that side of things for Andrade. And then if she's able to do that, maybe close in tight and try and throw Chukagian around, which I'm sure is possible. Get the slams on her and whatnot. But then Chukagian is capable on the ground. We just never see it very often,
You never
because
see.
she's so good at keeping people away with her strikes and winning in that area.
Yeah.
But and in the last fight with Antonina, we saw it, but it was in a different manner than playing defensively. And of course, she's going to have most people have better grappling than Antonina, so that wasn't super crazy and shouldn't have been crazy to see. First of all, that always frustrates me that they even made that fight in the first place. Just nonsense. But in the end, yeah, I think it'll come down to Jessica just landing more effectively when she pursues. And if she can slam Chukagian around without falling into a submission, then that scores points as well. So I don't see a finish in this one, but I think Andrade will. It'll be close. It'll be close with Chukagian keeping active and doing what she normally does, but just eating too many shots for her to get the victory. So Andrade unanimous decision.
Okay. Yeah, I just she has that nickname, the bulldozer, for a reason. She fucking plows people. Caitlin Chikatian is going to be the same. I mean, she's very good. Caitlin Chikatian is a very good fighter. Her strike volume, as we've hit on already, is very high. She's puts out very good output of her volume striking. She connects, but Jessica Andrade is just so powerful. She can drop Caitlin Chikatian with one bomb. If she gets her wrapped up, we can see another slam. Like the Rose Namajunas one. I don't know. I just see Jessica Andrade winning this, and then Yusuf asked the question: does this matchup possibly mean Andrade will get the title shot if she wins? I think so. She's already ranked number 2 right now in the strawweight rankings. She's ranked number 2. She's fighting Caitlin Chikatian, who is ranked number 1 right now. Yeah, it makes complete sense. Jessica Andrade gets the win. She fights Valentina Shevchenko or Jennifer Maia.
I actually don't like that very much. Just
Okay,
it's
so
it's
do
probably
I like that Jessica Andrade might get the title fight? No, I don't necessarily like it, but it makes sense. It makes UFC sense.
yeah, it makes UFC sense for sure. But from that purist
Well, I
standpoint,
mean, so you got to look at it. Yusuf's question is: does this matchup possibly mean Andrade will get a title shot if she wins?
okay, yeah,
The answer is yes.
yes, yeah, no question about it.
Okay.
No question about that. I was just saying I
I
wouldn't
I
like that
understand
very
what you're
much.
saying. I think everybody understands what you're saying. It's kind of the Holly Holm thing going, just not as bad. Oh, did we lose?
Yep, there we are.
Great. Oh,
Free flow.
break it back.
You said the Holly Holm effect.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit more. Andrade has only she fought the first time for the title against Joanna, then she won the title against Rose, and then she lost the title. So I mean, it's not crazy amount of title shots. It's just the fact that she's coming off of 2 losses now, and then this would be her first win in the division. And yeah, it would be against one of the top contenders, recent title challenger, all that. It's just the fact that we have Calvillo and Murphy, who winner of that seems like the very clear contender logically.
Yeah.
That's what kind of makes me be like, don't love it. But with that said, I would I would be more excited to see Andrade versus either Shevchenko or Maya than I would be Calvillo Murphy versus Shevchenko or Maya. So
Yeah, I
it
mean,
goes always.
yeah, of course. But do we see that happen? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what we're gonna see? The UFC's weird about
Things.
their title fight shit that they got, especially when in the women's divisions. We never know what's gonna happen. Um, we're lucky honestly, we're lucky that we're seeing Aljamain Sterling get a title shot against Peter Yan.
Yeah, surprisingly.
I mean,
Surprisingly lucky.
it's been a long time coming for Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, poor fella.
Well, he's got it now.
Yeah,
And
hopefully.
yeah, I mean, hopefully, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in between? But hopefully it happens. And I mean, Aljamain Sterling's very good. So
Yeah,
I think it would be entertaining.
that he is.
Okay, Andrade has still fought better opposition than most of the flyweight girls to date. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not really mad at her getting a shot with a win this weekend, despite the lack of streak, etc. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And, and like I've said, it makes UFC sense.
Hashtag UFC sense. Yeah.
Hashtag no UFC sense.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be the most egregious of things either. Let's put it that way. There's a lot more things that I'd be mad about, like the fact that this fight was not originally co-main event. That made me very upset. But then I went and cursed it. So you're all welcome, but you are also not welcome because now we don't get to see Cyril Gane fight.
Oh my god, dude. How fucking ridiculous is PFL? Like,
Oh yeah.
how ridiculous are they to not let a fighter fight
I mean, that's
in,
fucking.
in 2020 when they haven't put on any shows at all? There are other promotions obviously going. The UFC's been going since June.
Yeah, May. No, May. They kind
May?
of came back in May, yeah.
Man, since May. Bellator's going again. All these other LFA, one is going. Ryzen has put on a couple shows. Yet,
Deep Jewels, Deep, Pancrase.
yeah,
Like everybody's back now, pretty much.
literally everybody except for PFL, and they're not letting fighters fight, and that's why they have a lawsuit against them. This is exactly why they're making the lawsuit make sense.
Yeah, they are helping their case. They literally are fucking helping their case. That's a great point. The fighter's case, that is.
Oh, absolutely. The fighters are. You can see Lance Palmer like, oh, dude.
It's like thanks,
Yeah.
PFL.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, that's a win for us, right?
Yeah.
Stupid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Dave said killing their brand. It's absolutely killing their brand. People are hating so much on PFL. They have a tournament format. It's better than Bellator's tournament format, to be honest. It's better than Bellator's tournament format. It's funner, especially.
Yeah.
PFL equals pretty fucking lousy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, dude. What they're doing. It's crazy. It's mad ridiculous what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of bozos running PFL, and they have
that's a good one.
possibly fighting later. Yeah, later in fucking 2021.
The
Maybe.
question mark kills
Maybe.
me.
Maybe if they don't fucking go have all their investors back out.
They're dead in the water, man. It's over for them. It's over for them. I don't know. But yeah, another point from Stamina.
It was interesting to hear Caitlin Chikadjian completely no-sell Maya's chances at winning a title, though. I think it's just because she's salty about the way that she lost.
Oh yeah, to Valentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maya has every chance to beat Valentina Shevchenko. She has a better chance than her last 3 opponents,
Which includes Chukadian.
which includes Caitlin Chikadjian.
So there lies the issue.
Crazy. Madness.
So, yeah, I mean, we agree on the UFC fights, then we're split on the featherweight fight. I hope I'm wrong on the featherweight fight, just for the sake of history and fun,
Yeah,
I
and I
hope.
hope I'm right on the I I hope I'm right on the Bellator fight. Like I really do. Um,
Yeah, I think
obviously, I see Chris Cyborg winning. I don't know. It's really hard to pick against her, but I
the
am.
pick is in, bro.
No, I'm not. I'm not backtracking. I'm not. I'm not saying that Blanco's gonna lose. I just think that Cyborg is a phenomenal fighter, and I mean, it's hard to pick against her, but I did for whatever reason.
You'd love to see it. You'd love to see it, but I think that wraps it up this week, my man. Anything coming in the works? Any MMA inks or any updates on that news you told me about from last week? I'll take that as a salty no. Very salty no. Teasing the people here. And another good one.
Painfully fatiguing lawsuit.
Okay, but it's
They're gonna drown with that lawsuit.
yeah.
They're pretty much fucking done. They're dead fish in the water at this point.
Yes, they are. All right, but aside from that, my man, anything coming
Yeah,
out.
I have a couple MMA episodes coming out. Should be happening this week.
Very nice. Very nice.
Still trying to get some news, man. Still trying to get some news. It's
Work
not
on it.
happening.
It's very exciting though, you guys. I will tell you, it's a very cool. It's good. It's good news.
Fuck me, dude. I want to.
It is.
I'm about to throw my fucking phone.
Yep, there it goes. I was very shocked when he told it to me, in a good way. So it's good. We're teasing here, but yes, of course, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, means the world. Thank you for chatting and asking questions, just hanging out in general, watching whether it's live or not, all that stuff.
Yep.
Remember, follow us at Drake Riggs _ and Steve K _ MMA. Follow the Scrap on YouTube. Subscribe, all that stuff. Like, share. You know all that stuff. And as for me, what I got coming. This week, actually, Monday dropped episode 3 of Broadened Horizon. If you guys,
It's really good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, we had Kanako Murata on. One of my favorites, of course, and we also had Kana Watanabe on there too. So in terms of the ladies,
That was a
and
good
then
one.
Koji Takeda and Jiri Ohara, big winners from Rising 24. But yeah, Kana and Kanako, very interesting
I
conversation.
think I enjoyed the Kana Watanabe the most.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite too. Talking about like her judo background and
Yeah, that was cool.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah, that was very cool.
Yep. So you guys can check that out. That is out now. MyMAnews.com on YouTube. On my YouTube. It is also on SoundCloud, Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network, all that stuff. It's on my Twitter, of course. That's the best place to find everything that I do. And I said Kanako, one of my favorite fighters. I actually spoke to both of my 2 favorite fighters this last week, you guys. I got Jan Janan coming out next week, you guys. I spoke with Jan last Friday. That was a very good one, too. Very excited for that. Love Jan. Cannot wait for her to finally fight Claudia. Look forward to that. That is very exciting. And then, got a bunch of other things in the works, of course. Doing some video discussion, podcast type videos on the Body Locks YouTube channel. You can check those out pretty frequently, at least a couple every week now. And yeah, I think that is the most part for immediate things. I did a review on that new UFC 1 documentary. You can check that out. I watched that like
how
a
was
month
that?
ago.
Was that good?
Check out my review, dude. No.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't watched it.
No, it was very solid. If you want more specifics on it, you can go read it. That is at Fansided, the UFC 1. It's on my Twitter as well. But yeah, no, it's definitely well worth a watch. It is one of the better made documentaries, MMA documentaries. It's by the people who made the Last Dance one, so it's like automatically you would think it would be good. And, it was. The thing is just like we've had so many different UFC 1 documentaries, I feel like, that when I went into it, I was like, oh, I probably know a lot of this stuff, but there were some things in there that I didn't know, and it was
Yeah.
very interesting. And honestly, I put this in my review as well, but honestly, it feels a lot more like a Horion Gracie documentary than a UFC
Okay.
one, but it's actually nicer that way. It's just labeled wrongly as, if they were to do a Horion Gracie thing, it might not have got as much, coverage and views and everything, but a lot of stuff from Horion's side, and that's actually more interesting to me, I think, than just focusing straight up on the first one. So yeah, check that out, you guys, if you're interested in that. And yeah, I think that about covers everything. And
Yeah.
we will be back next week. What do you got here, Dave? Can you tag me when you drop those? Of course, sir. Yes, and thank you for the logo, Dave. What did you think of the new graphic intro that I got with the logo? Debuted that for this episode 3. I love it. Shout out to John Brand again for that as well. Never mind, I'll subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, dude, what are you doing? Just do that. That saves me some time and energy. but yes, this is the perfect send off. Thank you, Stamina. This is the best way to go out this week.
One more PFL. Peace, folks. Later.
Peace.